morning, everybody. Oh, good. There's some people. So will you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? You can hear me. I know there's a little lag, but if you can give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I think that I have the mic working. We had a battery situation. I'm waiting on the thumbs up, and we got a few minutes. We've got 4 more minutes. I'm going to get the Facebook going. I don't see any thumbs up yet, so uh-oh. Well, it should be working. It says it should be working. Anybody hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Oh, good, good, good. All right, good. And I need to see, I messed with the light too. Okay, good. You can see, because I wanted you to be able to see the slide, and sometimes they're kind of bright. So I'm going to get this one going. All right, I'm going to do this. Move this over here. Hold on. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. So start live video. I'm starting Facebook now. And I know I'll be dark in that corner. And we're live on Facebook. Yay. Okay. So we got a few more minutes. So today, if you're joining us on Facebook, a readable view of the slides, although there's not much to read on them. But if you want to join us on our YouTube channel, there's a readable view of the slides. And our Unity folks on the YouTube channel, remember today we're doing our burning bowl ceremony, our New Year's burning bowl ceremony. So if you want to participate, I invite you to get a pen and a piece of paper, pen and paper. And I'm hoping you guys can still hear me because I got a couple thumbs up. Let me see. I hope you guys can still hear me. Okay, yeah. So I hope so. Okay. So pen, piece of paper and pen. You can use a lighter, although I'm going to invite you to allow the smoke from mine and from Keith's, who is joining me here today so we can do the burning bowl together, to symbolize yours. So I'll probably just get you to rip up yours. So remember, this is our burning bowl ceremony where we're going to be releasing something. So I invite you, if you want to grab a pen and a piece of paper while we're waiting these last couple of minutes before we get started. And I think maybe, what is going on with my eyesight? Okay, good. I got more. So I think you guys can hear me. I think our Unity community over there on YouTube can hear us. So that's good news. So Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. We're waiting a couple more minutes. We got 1 more minute until we begin, until we get started. Welcome. Welcome to 2021. I see something happening over there on Facebook. Hi, waving to you, whoever you are. So if you want, take this moment to go grab a piece of paper and pen, although I'm going to give you another moment to do that too. So don't worry if you don't have it now. I will give you another minute here in a little bit to do it. So before we begin, we still got another minute. It's amazing how long a minute is when you have to, fill it with your voice in a room with nobody in it. Hello, I think that was a heart. I think I see Nicole over there. Hello, hello. Happy New Year. So we're going to get started. So I'll invite us all just to take this moment to turn inward and to bring all of ourself fully to this moment. And what we recognize is that it only takes a moment to reset. It only takes a pause, an intentional pause, an intentional centering of ourselves here fully in this moment to really begin to experience life in its fullness. And so I just invite us to take a quick moment to turn within, and we'll breathe in together, in through our nose and out, allowing all things but this moment to fall away. We do not need to change anything. We allow this moment to be exactly as it is. We can take a moment and focus on our body. Our body, which is always right here in this moment, can ground us to this moment. So I invite you to become aware of the bottoms of your feet, to how the ground is supporting your feet. Breathing in. It is so purposeful that I would give myself the fullness of this moment. I recognize that I am here on purpose. And I allow myself to embrace this moment as a new beginning. I am allowing in this moment my wisdom to rise up from within me, to bring itself fully in thought, love and wisdom and truth are here now, expressing themselves in all that I think and say and do. Thy will be done. One more breath. Coming fully into this moment. And we recognize that when we say, thy will be done, we are not talking about a thy, something outside of us, but rather something in which we live and move and have our being, and that is love with a capital L. So when we say thy will be done, we are saying love's will be done in this moment. And so we begin. Can you guys see my pictures that I put up? I really like that top one there. It says world. The world is temporarily closed. So I was reflecting yesterday in particular, I was reflecting on this last year. And in particular, the pandemic. You guys, everybody that knows me, all of you that know me know that I'm really struggling right now with this table. Like I can't, it's very difficult. Okay. And I'm back. Okay, so I was reflecting on this year and in particular this pandemic. And, you know, we've talked a lot in these weeks, in these months about the metaphor, the message that is inherent during this time, during this pandemic. And I think that, you know, there are so many. And one of the ones that really occurred to me yesterday in particular, and then I had another one earlier on in the week, but yesterday in particular, and I think that I've said this in different ways, and I think we've talked about this in different ways throughout the months, but you know how those layers of understanding, they come like those onion peels. So you get one kind of level of understanding, and then there's another peel, and you kind of get this other level of understanding. And what I recognized was this pandemic is an outpicturing of the fear that we have all held in our minds for so long, right? This collective fear. And sometimes we don't recognize fear as fear. You know, we really have to get in there underneath to understand that what we have going on in any moment is always love or fear. We are always acting from the love that is within us, thinking from the love that is within us, or thinking or acting from the fear that is within us. And I think that this pandemic certainly is an outpicturing of that fear, right? The fear that we have of one another, the fear that we have of life itself, right? So I watched yesterday with my family, we watched Soul. And I know that our Unity folks who did the community Zoom while I was off last week, I know that I think Christy mentioned that movie, and I was very, very excited to see it. In fact, I renewed our Disney Plus subscription, and I recommend it. That's the only place you can watch it, and I really think you should check out the movie. And I'm not going to do any spoilers, but what I will say is it was such a great, great reminder that so we have this myth sometimes within us, this myth within us that says that that we have this one purpose, right? And we've talked about this before, and I love the way Elizabeth Gilbert says it. And she says the myth is this: it's that you and I, we each have this purpose, this one thing that only we can bring to life, right? And our job, your job, my job, is to uncover that thing, figure out what that thing is, and then we have to become an expert on that thing. And once we're an expert on that thing, then we have to figure out how to monetize that thing, right? That thing we call purpose, so that we can then make a living, right, for ourselves and for our family. And so we have this myth of that is called I have one purpose. And Soul did this amazing job of reminding me that we don't have that one purpose. You know, my purpose is not. My one life purpose is not to be the spiritual leader of Unity of Appleton. Yes, I said it. My one life purpose is not that. However, my purpose right here and right now is absolutely to do that, because that is what is in front of me. That is what I'm being asked to do in this moment. And so, yes, it is on purpose, but I don't have just one purpose. You don't have just one purpose. And in this movie, Soul, it showed what, what it said was, we have this spark within us. They called it the spark, and I just love it. We all have this spark. So I have the spark that is Lydia in me, and you have the spark that is you in you. And our not purpose, I don't want to use the word purpose, for us to have life, and life in its fullness, life in its abundance, right? Jesus said, have life and have it abundantly. For us to have that, our job is to bring the spark that is us to this planet, the spark that is us to whatever it is that we are doing right now in this moment. And here is what happens, right? We're all born with that spark, right? And we talk about this all the time. At some point, we started to feel afraid. We started to realize that there was an out there and a me in here. And how am I going to keep the me in here protected from the out there that seems to be kind of out of control? Right? How am I going to do that? I'm going to layer myself in these protective layers so that I am insulated from the world. Well, what happens when we do that is we not only insulate us, that frightened part of us, we insulated our spark too. So not only are we not giving our spark to life, we are also not experiencing life in its fullness. Because in order to have life in its fullness, our spark has to be the one driving the car. Our spark has to be the one that is right here, right now, having the experience, having the conversation with you, having the moment to watch this movie with your family. Your life cannot be full unless your spark is here at the forefront in this moment, experiencing it with you. And so what we have in 2020, I believe, is this out picturing of the fear, the protective layer that we have put around our spark. Right? And so what we're seeing out here, what we saw out here, had been happening in here for a really long time. It had already been happening in here. In Unity, we recognize that things held in the mind then are out pictured in the world. And we recognize that that is true. And so when you look at the metaphor of being 6 feet apart from each other, right? I am afraid of you. I am afraid of you. I am afraid to be vulnerable around you. I am afraid that you are afraid. And because you are afraid, you're going to make a wrong move, right? This morning I was afraid because I was not in control of driving the car. My husband was driving the car, so I was afraid. So I needed to tell him about how I needed to drive the car. He loves it when I do that. He loves it, but I have to say he did really, really well. I was noticing how he was really calm, and he let me be bossy from the passenger seat. So thank you for letting me be bossy. So, and now I got totally off track because I did that. So where was I? So yeah, so I am afraid of you. I'm afraid that you are afraid. And because you are afraid, you're going to do this thing. And so I need to make sure that I am on my guard. And what we're talking about when we talk about releasing fear, it is not releasing wisdom. It is not, if we uncover our spark, if we uncover those layers, we are protected. We are protected. If the person at the light next to you is afraid and they are driving from their fear and not from their love, and you are driving from your love and not from your fear, if you need to be protected from that, you will just move. There won't be thoughts about it. There won't be judgments about, oh, look, they're clearly fearful. Did you see how they took off from that green light? Clearly they're afraid, right? There's no thought of that. It is just that love and wisdom are synonymous. And so when you are acting from your love, when you decide, okay, I want to release fear, when you really decide that, when you really say, okay, I'm willing to let this down. And so, and let's say this. It is not that we get to make one blanket statement and go, everybody, I want to announce, and this is kind of what I did about 15 or so years ago. I kind of made this declaration to everybody, including myself, and I definitely believed me. And we don't make this one declaration, which I did about 15 years ago. And I said, everybody, I figured it out. I figured it out. I'm not going to act from fear anymore. I'm going to create from love. I'm going to act from love. Great. Smooth sailing from here on out, right? The last 15 years, it's all been a breeze. No problems. Absolutely not. And that is because we are layered. That fear is layered. There are protective layers. And so we release this one layer of fear around the spark, right? So our spark gets a little bit closer to the forefront. And maybe in this arena, maybe I've learned, right? Like on this stage on Sundays from 10 to 11, I have learned to put down my fear enough so that I am able to have my spark show here. Now let's fast forward 2 hours and see how I'm doing. See how I'm doing when I'm back out there? I'm not up here anymore. I'm talking to you guys. So it's arena to arena. We've got fear here. We've got fear here. And so on this new year, there is a tradition in Unity called the Burning Bowl Ceremony. And that is what we are going to do today. And this Burning Bowl Ceremony, it is an invitation to release. It is an invitation to let go of one or more of the levels of fear that are insulating your spark from making itself known to the world, that are insulating that spark so that you are not able to experience the beauty, the magic that is life, right? So what we want to do in this Burning Bowl ceremony, I'll invite you, we're going to just say a prayer together in a minute, and we're going to invite our wisdom. We're going to invite the love that we are to speak to us through our thoughts and to tell us what it is that we would like to release today, right now, as a reset. What we want to let go of, what we are willing to let go of. And that is what we do in this Burning Bowl ceremony. So let's together, I'm going to invite us to just close our eyes. And it's okay if you don't have a piece of paper in front of you yet. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. Right now, we're just going to rest. We're going to take a collective breath together in through our nose, out. Another breath in through our nose, out. And I invite you to allow my words to be the words of your heart. I am ready to hear from the divine spark within me. I am willing to hear what I am being invited to let go of right now, today. I pause and take a moment of quiet, not listening for words, but listening to silence. Listen. Still breathing, just breathing. Not listening for words, listening to quiet. And when you are ready, over the next few seconds, I just invite you to kind of slowly open your eyes, bring yourself back to this moment. And if you have a piece of paper in front of you, pick up your pen and see if you can just notice and watch what your hand writes. What would you like to let go of? If something specific doesn't come to you, then you could just say a layer of fear. Just writing it down. And in a moment, what I'm going to do, so does everybody have their pen? If not, you can go and get that now. We're going to have a couple of, maybe a minute or so just to let everybody do that. And in just a minute, I'm going to invite Keith to come up here. And what we're going to do, if you do not have a lighter, what I'm going to invite you to do is take your paper and tear it up. And when you are going to watch as we light ours, and what we recognize is that you and I are one. And so we will have the intention to allow the burning of my paper, the burning, and I've already written mine. I cheated. I already knew what we're going to talk about. So I already wrote them. And I've got it in here. We're going to light it, and we're going to allow the flame that burns it up, that takes it away, to represent yours too. So I'm going to invite Keith to come up. He's going to come up. And so take your paper now, right? And here's the other thing. If you haven't done this now, you can come up, honey. If you haven't done this now, it's okay. You can actually do this. Mine's going to go first. You hold on to yours first. Actually, no, yours is going first. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. He loves it when I say that. If you haven't written this on a piece of paper, you can do this practice on your own, on yourself, throwing it into your fireplace, your wood burning stove, putting it in your sink and lighting it, hashtag be safe, tweet, okay. So I'm going to invite us just to get still. Keith's going to get still. He's put his into the bowl. And he's going to watch as the flame takes it away. So you can rip yours up and allow this flame to represent yours. So ready? It's gone. So now you'll do mine. Also a big one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, honey. So I wish you guys could see it. You guys who've been here, you longtime Unity people, you know how cool it is to watch the flash paper. And I should say that to you, that was flash paper, not regular paper. So it kind of goes up really quickly. And just, funny story, everybody. Last year we couldn't find the flash paper, and I actually had to go to a local magician's house to get the flash paper. And we have plenty left over for this year, and we'll have plenty for next year. And so now, as we let go, as we recognize that it is so powerful, our willingness to let go is so, so powerful. We have been intentional this morning. We have set a reset, a hard reset. And in any moment, we can recall this and press reset again. In my experience with the burning bowl, what happens is I will inevitably put something in the bowl that I want to let go of. Maybe, it could be a grudge. It could be unforgiveness that's in your heart for somebody. Whatever it is, that layer of fear, that protective layer that we're letting go of each year. My experience is that I'll put something in the bowl and then it burns up and I watch it. And over the course of the year, what will happen is anything that is blocking me from the experience of blocking me from the release of that fear comes up throughout the year. And it comes up because I'm being invited to let it go, right? So if you experience a circumstance, let's say you in your bowl, you put that you want to forgive your ex-spouse, right? Do not be surprised if next week or next month, all of a sudden, your ex-spouse shows up in your life and there's something you need to forgive them for. Because that's what happens. All the things, all of our judgments about our ex-spouse that are blocking us from really releasing them, really forgiving them, it's going to come up. And the reason why it does is because it's our invitation to do it differently, to release that judgment instead of acting from it, to pause and take a breath before we act instead of acting from it. Right? So anything that comes up around what you put in here, recognize that it is there for your freedom. And if it is a familiar thing that you've experienced before, pause, take a breath, and ask, okay, I'm ready. What's my lesson? What is this here to teach me? What is this here inviting me to let go of? Right? It's an invitation for you to do it differently. And when I say do, I mean think it differently, right? Because thinking is just as powerful as acting, because thoughts held in the mind are then outpictured out there, right? Okay. So, burning bowl, and we've done our prayers, and I meant to change the slide, and I didn't. So I'm going to go through. So daily word for today, I am actually going to do the daily word for January 1st because we're doing our burning bowl ceremony. So for those of you who don't know, this is daily word. It's a Unity Worldwide publication. You can get it at dailyword.com. We're actually working on putting a link to this on our website, but we don't have that up yet. But dailyword.com, daily devotional. So yeah, I am reading Friday, January 1st. Okay. So new year, living from my divine nature, I begin again. Whether a new year or a new day, I am free to make a fresh start. Every moment offers a new beginning and a chance to rediscover who I really am. As I stand at the threshold of a new year, I remember God is within and make a commitment to live from my spiritual nature. Seeking to live more fully as a divine being, I grow more mindful of my thoughts and actions. When I notice they are not in alignment with love, I try not to dwell on them or judge myself, right? Or judge myself. Instead, I return to spirit. Like pushing a reset button, I center my mind and my heart in the truth of my oneness with God and begin again. I connect with the loving presence within me, and I express more and more of my divine self. And the verse is Isaiah 42:9. See, the former things have come to pass, and new things I now declare. I like that. And new things I now declare. Living from my divine nature, I begin again. And remember, this is actually a practice that Keith and I have with one another. We will say, can we start again? And depending on how entrenched we are and depending on how triggered the other one is, it might take us a minute to say, okay, yes, we can begin again. And you and I can begin again in every single moment. In every single moment. Every moment can be our burning bowl. Our breath can be the flame. Begin again. Okay, so I'll sit down so you guys can read with me. Our vision, a world powerfully transformed through shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. And our values, abundance, acceptance, community, diversity, integrity, joy, and love. And we celebrate our children. Unity of Appleton sees the divinity in all children and nurtures their unfolding spirituality. And if you have kiddos, or if you have grandkiddos, or niece kiddos, or neighbor kiddos that you love, watch Soul with them. It is a great experience. Kai and I had a great conversation. It was really, really cool. Okay, I am not getting any kickbacks from Soul or Disney Pixar. Just want you to know that's like free advertising. You're welcome, Disney. You're welcome. Okay, so we'll have our moment of gratitude. What we recognize is that gratitude is energy that lives inside of us all the time. And we do this before we give symbolically our gifts in the passing of the basket. And we do that for a very specific reason. And that is because when we give, if we can tap into that energy of gratitude, that energy of thank you, I am so thankful I am giving, right? I am so full, I am giving. If we can tap into that, we are not only ensuring in the moment joy and life abundantly, but we are ensuring that we are drawing to us more situations and things for us to be thankful for. So in this moment, I invite you to bring to mind, you can close your eyes if you want, or just relax your gaze. Bring to mind something, a person, a situation, something for which you feel thankful. So smile, breathe, and in your mind or aloud, say, thank you, thank you. All right, our affirmation of prosperity. Unity of Appleton is alive with the energy of spirit, in the flow of divine abundance, and radiant with unlimited possibilities. And thank you all for continuing to give your gratitude offerings, for sending those in, for giving via PayPal. I know on Facebook over there, I know that Nicole has posted a button there that you can press and give if you are feeling inspired to do so. Thank you to our sustaining members who continue to give to us week after week after week. We are truly, truly grateful. Thank you. And so, divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyfully give and willingly receive. I give in love, and I trust God as my source. Okay, so prayer for protection. Look at that. I did burning bowl and a talk, and it's 10:30, everybody. Okay, so before we do this, I'll just remind you, we're going to have our community Zoom. Our Zoom will start after this. We'll definitely do a hard start at 10:40, but you can jump on over as soon as you want to. I think that Keith will be joining today, and because I couldn't have him trapped, he's excited to see all of you anyway. So let's do our prayer for protection. And if you are not a member and would like to join our Zooms, send us a message and we'll see about, getting you connected so that you can join us. Those conversations are amazing. Okay, so our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Okay, everybody, I will see you at the Zoom momentarily. Definitely a hard start at 10:40. Goodbye, Facebook. See you next time. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye, everybody. And see you guys in a minute. See you in a minute, everybody. In stream.